welcome to our fourth chat here at Make-A-Wish, Alaska and Washington in celebration of our 35th anniversary. So we hope you've enjoyed hearing from our last three Make-A-Wish alumni. And today I'm very excited to have the opportunity to meet with Marc, who is an alumnus who received an amazing wish that we'll get to hear about in a second, in honor of the 35th anniversary, and taking this opportunity to go back and to revisit some of our most amazing memories and to see where some of our Wish alumni are today. So I'm very excited to have you here, Marc.
Hi, thanks for having me.
It's been a crazy year, and so we appreciate you making the time to chat with us and to tell us a little bit about your Wish experience.
Hey.
So can you take me back maybe to the day that you found out that you were going to get an opportunity to receive a wish and sort of what your process was to come up with that wish?
Oh gosh, I have to think all the way back. It was like in 2014. I don't really have a clear, definitive memory, but I do remember when the wish granters came in and we were going kind of through the whole process and brainstorming some ideas. And, eventually at first I actually wanted a car. I wanted, I think it was like a Ford Mustang, just something that every other teen wanted. And then when I was rejected and I said, nope, you have to figure out something else. I was composing these piano pieces and I thought, well, maybe I could create something out of it, something that I could keep for the rest of my life. And so that's when I figured out that I wanted to create my own album of original compositions and turn it to a CD. But I do have a very clear memory of when it went further after the wish, when it was broadcasted into Starbucks stores all over the world.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember finishing a cross-country meet in high school. And I was just exhausted, like I had a long day. And then my parents was like, okay, look at this email I just got from, I think it was a representative from, I think it was either Starbucks corporate or it was Make-A-Wish. And I remember reading, I was like, oh my God, like what's going on here? And so I remember I had like that big aha moment, what I can contribute musically is actually making a difference and it's gonna enlighten a lot of people. So that's like one of the very, very clear, definitive moments that I remember about that wish in particular.
I can't see why you wouldn't remember that moment. I think that's a pretty awesome space to know that thousands of people were hearing your original compositions, that you were able to get, recorded and edited and into a CD at the time now. Can you tell us a little bit? I know you had sort of a Wish Day performance where you got to debut your original compositions. Can you tell us a little bit about what that day was like for you?
I think that was in August. I remember it was a couple months after I came into the studio and recorded my piano compositions. But it was a very intimate CD party / performance extravaganza, I guess you call it. I don't know. But I remember they took us in a limo from our house in Tacoma, and we had like a big red carpet celebration. We walked down, and I actually prepared a speech before I performed my own original compositions. And I remember feeling really, really nervous because I didn't really have a lot of public speaking experience prior. But eventually, I don't know, just everything just started to settle in within my emotions. And so I was just really was able to focus on my music specifically. I think that's where like the nerves started to ease in, is when I started playing. And I vividly remember getting my first standing ovation after I performed all of my my pieces. And, you know, that was an experience I've never had before. And it was kind of like, I didn't know how to respond to it when I first got my standing ovation. I was like, this is kind of weird. This is kind of like new territory. Like, how am I to process it? And, you know, I was just like, you know what, take a deep breath, just let it go, embrace it. Because I think from that moment on, you know, I felt like I had a meaningful purpose in this world, because when you're living with a life-threatening condition and you're constantly focusing on yourself and your health, it really makes you oblivious to what you can do with your life and what you can do to make the biggest difference in the world, you know, regardless of what that is. And so I just remember thinking to myself, oh, wow, like my life has meaning, you know, and I just had no awareness of that prior to. So, you know, from there on, you know, it was kind of like these little baby steps where I kind of just opened up my personality, who I am. You know, I really felt more out of my comfort zone too. So, and you know, the rest is history, you know, and here I am.
Yes.
6 years later.
And that is so amazing. And I think what you said about how after the wish and kind of looking forward, it put you into a different space, right? And you said that you kind of felt like your life had purpose. And I've heard that from other Wish alumni too, that they imagined a future that they weren't really thinking about before, because they were so focused in the here and now. They weren't sure what their future held, and it gave them that agency to kind of look ahead and think broadly. And you know, and you got to see yourself as, this is what it feels like to be a performer, a musician, an original. So who was there with you that day? Did you have friends or family?
Mostly family. I think I had a couple of close friends. Barry, the CEO, was there. It was pretty small. I think it was a total of about 20 people I invited. I think it was like my best friend, another good friend from high school, and mostly all my cousins and all of my, you know, extended.
We know your mom was there, and
my mom was there.
And I'm using this as a rough segue in to say that this weekend is Mother's Day, and so we're to please wish your mom a happy Mother's Day for us. You know, we know that Wish families, whether they be biological or chosen families, are a huge part in being part of these wishes and are hugely impacted by these wishes. And so let's fast forward 6 years later. You have completed college. And I know you shared with me earlier that you completed an internship, which has driven you to your first job post-college at Aegis Living. So can you tell us a little bit about that role and what it's going to grow into, you hope, and sort of how you're doing?
After I completed college in June, which was a degree in music therapy, I also have to complete a 6-month internship as a music therapy intern. So I did that through Aegis Living in West Seattle for 6 months, which was just a great experience, especially, you know, people like with dementia or Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, you know, this is kind of like an interaction or a type of medium that they need right now, you know, through music. So it was really a privilege to be able to share that with them and make the biggest difference that they can. And then eventually I was offered a job opportunity at another location in Bellevue Overlake, brand new. It's got 6 floors, 160 rooms, a juice bar, movie theater, you know, all the amenities that you could wish for. It's an incredible building. But I have been given the privilege to be part of their opening team. So currently my job title is called a life enrichment assistant, which means I help out with both the assisted living and the memory care units in terms of doing one-on-one visits, doing music activities, and any other things that, you know, my supervisor needs me to do. But eventually I will be in a specialized music therapy position. So I will be working as their their music therapist, which is very exciting and very, it kind of feels surreal, because I've been in school for so long. And I think when you're in school, you kind of think to yourself, oh, like, when is this going to come? Like, when is my dream going to come? And now it's just like, bang, it's here. And, I'm having a great time so far, getting to know the residents, one by one, which is the great part of being the opening team. You get to know the residents on a very personal level too.
That's
As they come
incredible.
in.
I love that you chose to pursue music therapy. I can't say that your wish necessarily drove you to that decision. It's lovely to see that maybe some exposure to performance and to seeing how it impacted you maybe had an impact on that. So kind of segueing from there, more generically, or kind of thinking more globally, why do you feel that wishes are important?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's kind of a loaded question, but I'll do the best I can. I think wishes are so important in the fact that they are granted to people that come from a story. And it's a story of, from my perspective, it's a story of continuous adversity, but continuous perseverance. And I think wishes are really important because it's kind of almost like a reward for saying, you can do it. You've done so good so far. You can keep pushing. And I think it's kind of like that precursor to keep persevering and to help them bring that sense of meaning and that sense of purpose in their life, because that's what everybody is trying to strive for, and to strive for their own sense of happiness. And I think this is just a great way to really bring light to that, for sure.
I love that. Bringing kind of that hope and that joy into this time of just turbulence and adversity. And I think it goes to show the resilience and spirit of children and teens, adolescents facing these illnesses like you, that once they have these wish experiences, they often have this moment like you did, where you felt like there's purpose, there's future, there's happiness, there's family and friends. So that's just so poignant. Thank you. And I'm super excited for your future. I can't wait to talk to you in another 6 years and hear what you're doing. So what do you have any questions about Make-A-Wish and kind of where we are today?
Well, I actually have some questions for you too, Melissa. So I know that Make-A-Wish is celebrating Moms or Mother's Day this month. So what inspires you most about Wish Moms?
I think, what really, this better than I, having witnessed and relying on your mom over the years, that we really want to raise up those wish moms, whether they be birth moms or chosen moms or grandmas, aunts, who really step in and support the child. The diagnosis of a life-threatening illness is something so profound and so difficult to comprehend if you haven't received one. And so these are really often the support people who, kind of are helping along the way. And so anything that we can do through the wish granting process to add some network, some community, some comfort, both to that wish child, but to their family as well. But we just want to honor all of those advocates, all those moms out there who've been, really advocating and supporting and pulling the family together. It's just they are true heroes and in our minds, along with the wish children themselves. So we just wanted to take a moment to honor them. You shared with me that your mom is a nurse, and I want to give your mom a shout out because it's also Nurse Appreciation Week, and we appreciate those nurses kind of as a second party that comes in alongside the family and really supports them through these experiences. So
that's great. I know there's a lot of moms who support Make-A-Wish as donors, volunteers, and as staff members, but what would you want to say to them about their commitment to Make-A-Wish?
Thank you. Thank you for all that you do. I think that wish families that come back to Make-A-Wish, to pay it forward, whether that be through volunteerism, advocacy, outreach, it's such a monumental benefit to the wish families that are coming into our program, to see and to have someone to connect to who has a shared life experience. And these are big jobs. Volunteering for Make-A-Wish is not an easy thing. We ask a lot of our volunteers. You know, we're so supported by our community of generous donors. So we just really want to say thank you to those moms.
Yeah, absolutely. So then what makes you most proud of your chapter?
You know what, I love all Make-A-Wish chapters, but our chapter, I think I'm particularly proud of them, especially in light of this anniversary, just their commitment to the mission, really truly staying focused on the vision to ensure that every eligible child facing a critical illness will receive one. And so that we take that to heart every day. So every day when we're, you know, like any other individual, oh gosh, you know, work is difficult today. How are we going to raise the funds to ensure that we have enough money for wishes? Like, we always come back to, we got to do it. We got to do it because we just granted this amazing wish, and there are 500 more kiddos that are waiting for their amazing wish. And so I just really, really love the people and that I get to work with every day at our chapter. I think they're excellent. I think they do an incredible job, and their commitment to the mission, to ensuring that we provide hope and joy to every eligible child.
That's a great response. What would you say is the most difficult part of your job?
You know, I think the fact that we know that there are more kids every year that are being diagnosed than we're able to serve in a given year. So that means that some of those children are waiting. They're waiting for the right wish. They're waiting for us to have the volunteer manpower or the staffing power or the financial resources to grant those wishes. I think we do a very good job. Our board, our volunteers do an incredible job of leading us to ensure that that those children aren't waiting an excessive amount of time, but I believe any wait is too long. Yeah. And, you know, we do have, because of COVID, we have kind of a pretty big list of kiddos that are waiting as we are able to grant wishes safely and securely in this pandemic environment. So those kids are maybe waiting a little longer than we would like. And I think that's hard. That's hard to know that we can't do everything for every child at the moment that the child wants it. I think that's the hardest part.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. So while these wish kids are waiting for their wishes, so what can a wish alumni like me do to help grant more wishes?
Marc, you know, you've been an incredible ambassador already. For those who haven't had a chance to see Marc perform with us, you have performed at some of our events. You have been part of past interviews, and we appreciate you being here today. And that is one of the most important things that alumni can do. They can share their stories with others. They can be seen as oh, if he did it and look where he is today, like I could see that in myself too. And I think that's one of the most important things that alumni can do. They can join our alumni social media pages through Facebook and Instagram, and offer up their stories and volunteer potentially to speak on our behalf if they feel so inclined, or to make a video for us. We always love that. Obviously they can come back when they feel ready, and be volunteers, maybe serve on one of our leadership councils or as a trustee. You know, there are so many ways that we would love Wish alumni to stay engaged with us. We, you know, you're part of our story as much as we're part of your story. And so the fact that we can stay connected to you gives us both strength, and you really truly act as brand ambassadors and advocates for future Wish children. So those are just a couple of the ways. Obviously, I can think of more, attend our events if they're appropriate, whatever seems right for you, but we would love to have you stay connected with us.
That's great. Wonderful.
Yeah. Well, Marc, it was such a pleasure chatting with you today. I know you're super, super busy
Yes.
in your new job and a very important role. And I really commend you for the work that you're doing and the lives that you're touching every day with your music and with your personality and your grace. You're really a remarkable individual. And I think that's about all we have to say to each other. I know that you have to get back to work, so I don't want to keep you too long.
Okay, no, totally fine. Well, happy Mother's Day, Melissa.
Well, please share my happy Mother's Day wishes with your mother. And for all the mothers watching us today, happy Mother's Day. And whether you be biological step, guardians, foster, adoptive, whatever way you show up for Wish Children, we just know that you are working really hard and that we see you and that we're so appreciative of everything that you do. So bye, Marc, and I look forward to seeing you very soon, maybe in person here someday.
Yes, hopefully.
All right. Have a great day, and please keep us up to date on everything you're doing.
I will. Same to you.
All right. Bye.
All right.